So this is my DoorDash deactivation story. I had delivered with DoorDash for 5 years, starting in 2019 to 2024. Had over 10,000 deliveries. I know a lot of people have more than that in that amount of time, but I stayed busy with Uber and Lyft and working a job and doing other things too. So after 5 years and exceptional ratings, nothing to be concerned about with the acceptance rate or the completion rate or anything along those lines, I was deactivated by DoorDash. I received a order to deliver to a particular, cars driving by here. I received an order to deliver to a particular address in my hometown, and I delivered the address to the address, and the directions, the instructions for the delivery said hand it to me. You people who do DoorDash, you're very familiar with that. So it said hand it to me. So I'm approaching I pull into the driveway like I always do, and get out with the order, and I approach the door, and I ring the doorbell. I didn't see any customer come to the door or anything like that, so I ring the doorbell, and somebody on the inside of the house starts yelling, "Leave it at the door. It says leave it at the door." So I kind of said in a somewhat of a loud voice, wasn't really yelling or anything, but wanted to kind of make sure they understood why I had ring the doorbell. So I said, "It says hand it to me." So a man inside comes flying out on me. He comes out raging, just flings open the door and burst out. And he says, "What did you say? What did you say?" And I said, "Well, it says hand it to me. If you like, I can show you on my phone." He was like, "You don't talk to me like that." And he's approaching me in a rage. So I start backpedaling. I start backing up. I'd already put the order down at the door, and I turn back and I'm going back to my vehicle, and the guy's coming after me. So I'm not backing up because I'm afraid. I'm backing up because I'm trying to remove myself from the situation. So this guy is coming after me. I jump in my truck because I was driving a Nissan Frontier at the time, and I put it in reverse to try to back out away and just leave. That's what I wanted to do, is just leave. Well, the guy gets behind my truck, and he's trying to block me in his driveway. And I backed out of the driveway somehow. I didn't spin any tires. I didn't run over any flower pots. I didn't, fly through the guy's grass and ruin his yard or anything like that. But somehow I managed to back out of the driveway with him running around behind my vehicle. And as I'm backing out, I could hear the guy yelling, "Please hit me, please hit me, please hit me." Well, I didn't hit him, but I did want to get out of there because I don't particularly care for being charged by raging madmen. Well, after I left, after I got out of the driveway and I'm driving away from this home, the wife of this man starts sending text messages through the DoorDash app, through the app itself, threatening to call the police on me. My brother's a police officer. I know this one and that one, they're a police officer. I'm going to have them come and get you, things along those lines. Well, I went on to the house. I went to my home, and I thought about it for a few minutes, thought about what had happened, and I thought about the threats that she had made through the app to me about calling the police, so I just went ahead and called the police myself. And, I didn't know what the guy was going to try to say. Was he going to try to accuse me of hitting him with my truck, which didn't happen? I didn't know. I didn't know what story he was going to tell. So I took the initiative and I called the police myself. Woo! The Autobahn here in East Tennessee, apparently. So I called the police myself and I explained the whole story to the officer that I was on the phone with, from the top all the way down, explaining everything that happened. And he basically said, don't worry about it. Okay. I appreciate that. They had the address. I gave them the address of the house. Maybe they were familiar with that address. Maybe they have experienced this sort of activity before from those people. I don't know. But he said I wouldn't worry about it. So I didn't. But apparently DoorDash was worried about it, because right about the time I got home, I received the notification that I had been deactivated. I forget the exact terminology that the reasoning why they said it was. I forget what the exact wording of that was, but it has to do with this situation, obviously, which I was the victim. As far as as far as I could tell, I was the victim in that situation, and I explained all that to them. And I'm not somebody who runs around with a victim mindset. I never have been. But I really don't see where I did anything wrong in this situation. Now I know they have their technicalities and things. I'm not so ignorant that I don't know that. They could find a way to basically believe somebody else's lies and get rid of you, which DoorDash is very impersonal anyway. I actually spoke to one human being that said they were going to review, some kind of team was going to review the thing, and then that was it. I never spoke to another person. It's almost like it's ran by bots or something. People overseas. Don't know the full story there, but anyway, I was deactivated after this raging madman comes charging out on me because I was obeying what the instructions said, and then I was threatened with the police, who basically told me not to worry about it. I went through the appeals process with DoorDash and everything to no avail. Didn't get anywhere. So, and I'm still deactivated. And all of this happened about 8 months ago, and I'm just now, telling this story on this channel. Well, I didn't have this channel until recently. So that was in February, which is it's now October. So I started doing Grubhub. I didn't do Grubhub before this, while I was doing DoorDash. And I really, as far as the money that I made, I really haven't missed out on anything. I'm making good enough with Grubhub, comparable to what I was making before. It's just in this particular market where I'm at, Grubhub is not as busy as DoorDash, but it seems like the orders, maybe they pay a little bit more when you get one. And I'm still doing other apps and things, and still working, doing other things. I've got another income. I don't just depend upon gig work. So that's my little DoorDash deactivation story. I've not tried to get back in yet. I've heard people talk about creating new accounts and hoodwinking the system and getting back in. I've not done any of that yet. But anyway, yeah, that's what happened to me. If you've got similar stories, I'd like to hear about it. I'd like to hear what your experiences are. And if I could encourage you, maybe you've been deactivated by DoorDash and sort of jolted you. Look into some of these other apps. Don't put all your eggs in one basket, so to speak. I mean, you can make it without DoorDash. Seems like there's a lot of folks out there that need to hear that. So, you'll be okay. I've been okay. It's not really hindered me all that much. But anyway, just thought I'd share my story. Maybe someone out there will find it useful for some reason. Have a good day. Bye now.